Be confident, be bold, be authentic, but don't forget to take action. This is Ordinary to Badass, where our stories empower women to step into the spotlight of their own lives and pursue what they're truly passionate about. It's time to step into the arena and become more than just extraordinary. It's time to become a badass with your host, Marie Sonneman.
Welcome to Ordinary to Badass, episode number 262. In this episode, you're going to hear from Sheryl Anjanette. And Sheryl is last episode you heard from Sheryl Anjanette, who is an author of The Imposter Lies Within, Silence Your Inner Critic, Tame Your Fear, Unleash Your Badassery. Love that title. International speaker, thought leader, and trainer on the topics of imposter syndrome, burnout, and peak performance. All those things. Last episode was so good, but this episode, you're going to hear 3 reasons why Sheryl Anjanette is so badass. Welcome to Ordinary to Badass. Whether you're ordinary or badass, I am so glad you're here. So today, so many things to talk about, but one thing I want to share and get to it is the Financial Freedom Summit. If you are struggling with your finances and you're in debt and want to make a change, or if you want to build more wealth in your life, then this summit is for you. Financial Freedom Summit. You can go to ordinarytobadass.com/freedom. This is my slash, apparently. I did a little hand motion. But yeah, that's where you can find more information about the summit. There's so many amazing speakers, and we're going to have all sorts of things like mindset and emotional freedom technique, which is tapping, and just to help you clear any money blocks that you have. And we have a money consciousness expert, and also how to go to college debt free. Shelly Howard is going to be on there talking about how she sent her son to college, to Harvard, might I add, an Ivy League school, debt free. And she has a couple children, and all of her children went to college debt free. And it's not the way you think. It is not with scholarships. She has a secret nugget in there that will help you. So make sure that you check that out because it is so good. And yeah, they're just amazing speakers. Marissa Nielsen, and she talks about money, 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 and what you do for your retirement if you want to create a plan and to go into retirement like thriving. And I don't care if you're 19 years old, it is not too young to start planning for your retirement, and you are not ever too old to start planning for your retirement. Start planning now is better than pushing it off, putting your head in the sand. Believe me, I was $106,000 in debt, and I definitely put my head in the sand about everything financial. Don't want to do that again. So ordinarytobadass.com/freedom, sign up today. So good. And yeah, just a lot of nine other female speakers, total powerhouses. So give it a listen or join the summit. It's amazing. Okay, now I want to talk about real or real fake. So it is in the United States, it is the week of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is on Thursday here. And there are a lot of traditions around Thanksgiving. A lot of people have different things, different dietary needs. So I want to hear from you. What do you think about tofurkey? Like it's like a tofu type turkey. Do you think that's real or real fake? And maybe people use tofurkey for dietary needs or allergies or certain restrictions that they have. So that's their form of turkey. I don't know. I don't eat turkey either. Can't say that I've tried tofurkey, but I don't eat turkey. And so I'm kind of neutral on this one, but I want to hear from you. Tofurkey, real or real fake? It is important to me to hear your feedback. I want to know where you stand on these issues each and every week. when I bring up the real or real fake. And yeah, hit me up on social media, DM me. Real fake. Tell me if it's tofurkey or regular turkey or what it is for you, because I think there's a widespread. If I asked each and every one of you what you eat for turkey or what you can't stand or what your substitutions are, I think that it, across the board, would be wildly different. And that's what I think is interesting, right? So definitely vote. If you're on Spotify, you should be able to vote and say tofurkey, real, or real fake. All right. With that, let's get to the episode. Last episode, you heard from Sheryl Anjanette. And Sheryl is a total badass. She's an author, and she talked about all the different things that she's went through in life and talked about neuroscience. And yeah, there was a lot of value bombs dropped, but today we're going to focus on 3 of them. And 3 reasons why Sheryl Anjanette is so badass. Let's just dig right in. First reason is for how she changed how she was treated. The second reason is because she's pro-gender. And the third reason is for how she fills her brain. Okay, let's dig into number 1. Sheryl changed how she was treated. Sheryl said that in the beginning, she had no self-worth. So then other people treated her that way. She was in an 11-year relationship, and he didn't treat her very well because she didn't treat herself very well. She didn't have very high expectations of herself. So why would somebody else? And she said that then she ended up getting a divorce from him, and really, sorry, had a little throat issue there, nose issue. Anyway, so she ended up getting a divorce from him, but she said she did the work. She did the work to gain the confidence, to feel good about herself, and not just let.
You're lazy, stupid, or arrogant.
Okay. Well, that was funny because my phone just kicked on like something from YouTube. I don't know why it kicked on, but we will go with it. But yeah, she stopped letting people treat her crappy, and she started setting a standard for herself. She started treating herself better, learning how she could up her confidence and feel better about herself. And as a result, then other people had to treat her better as well. And so, you know what? Sometimes you can't control how other people treat you. You can't. What other people do, can't control. And there are times, though, where we're in relationships, whether it be with family members, friends, loved ones, and we set the tone for how they treat us because of how we treat ourselves. So if somebody sees you with like huge, high respect, high confidence, maybe they're less likely to try to pick on you, right? Because they see that you're not going to put up with that. But on the other hand, if somebody sees that you have no confidence whatsoever, less work for them. Perfect picking, right? So you can control your confidence. So often we think that confidence is just something that comes natural, and it's just like, ooh, that person has confidence, they have charisma, they just got it. They were born with it. Usually not the case. Like, yeah, you could have been born with it, or your family could have really nurtured that in you and helped you to feel really confident and really badass. But a lot of times it takes effort, it takes work, it takes this constant practicing and readjusting. When things don't work, then you like tweak it a little bit or readjust, or it's like working out, working your muscles. And if you want to keep your confidence, you have to keep working out. You have to keep putting in the reps. It's not an overnight thing. So, are you happy with how people in your life are treating you? 1 to 10, this might be a hard question, but 1 to 10, where would you say your confidence level is at? 1 being no confidence, 10 being the most confident person in the world. Where would you say it's at? So reflect on that. If you feel like you're in a good place and your confidence is at a 10, cool, perfect. I love that you did the work and that you're at a 10. But if you feel like it's at a 1 or on the low side, guess what? That is up to you. You get to choose. You can absolutely put in the work and change that 1 to a 10. And maybe it's not going to happen overnight. Well, likely it's not going to happen overnight. But you can change that. So if you don't like how other people are treating you, that's something to reflect on. It's like reflect and see, okay, is this really what I want in my life? Does this relate to how I'm behaving? Am I allowing this behavior? Am I setting boundaries? Believe it or not, boundaries are a huge part. They're a huge part of confidence, and they're a huge part of people running all over you. Because sometimes we're just letting people run all over us. As women, we're often taught to like appease other people or make peace, keep it good. And so we don't set those boundaries because we don't want to offend somebody. But the truth is, if we're not setting any boundaries, then we're allowing other people's bad behaviors. Okay, let's move on to number 2. Number 2, second reason why Sheryl Anjanette is so badass is because of how she's pro-gender. Now, Sheryl said, listen, I love women. I want women to keep increasing. She's like, just because I'm pro-women, like, doesn't mean I'm anti-men. And I think that's huge. Sometimes we go on these tangents or we think like, yes, women rock, which we do, right? But we forget that doesn't mean that we're not that we're anti-men. You can love women and not hate men, right? Or you can be for women increasing their rights or improving their rights or equality and not hate men. You just see something that needs to change, and there's nothing wrong with that. And even, okay, so Catherine Switzer, she was the first woman to run the Boston Marathon. If you missed that episode of the podcast, it was so good. Make sure that you go back and listen to that. It's Catherine Switzer. And again, she's the first woman to run the Boston Marathon. So she ran that marathon and they tried to pull her off course. Like the head person that was in charge of the marathon, literally, there's pictures of him trying to pull her off the course. And guys helped her through it. They helped her get to that finish line and not be pulled off course. They stopped the lead person who was running the Boston Marathon. They stopped him from pulling her off course. And then she said after the fact, like, women were some of the hardest people on her. They were very critical of her. And some of the men were her biggest champions, her biggest heroes. So it's like, you can want change, you can want improvement, but that doesn't mean that you have to be anti-men. And so I love how Sheryl said that. Like, she is pro-gender. She is pro-women, pro-men, and not anti-men, anti-woman. Like, you don't have to just pick one or the other. It can be yes and, like, it can be a both situation where, yeah, okay, I want the best for women, I want the best for men. And I think that's pretty badass, because sometimes the instinct is to like just go like pick one lane and go down, right? And you're like, oh, like you see the changes that you want and you just root for it so hard, or you want it so bad that you forget the other side of it. It doesn't mean the other side is bad. And I would venture to guess the same thing is in a lot of areas of life, maybe politics, right? If one person is a Democrat and another person is a Republican, it doesn't mean that either one is bad. They just have different opinions or different way of doing things. I think now more than ever, it's 2022 at the time of this recording anyway, we need to be pro-human, right? Like, respect other people's beliefs or boundaries, even if we don't necessarily agree with them or we don't understand them. Because sometimes that's it. We just don't understand them. And I was talking to a coworker about this today because he was talking about some of the woo-woo stuff and how it was weird. And I'm like, I don't know if it was weird. One day I would have said it was weird. Now I'll just say I don't understand it. There's certain things that I don't understand. And instead of being so quick to say, oh, they're weird, and I'm not saying that was him, that was me in the past, right? If I didn't understand something, I would say it was weird. Now I'm like, maybe it's possible. Maybe there's things I don't know. And less weird, more I don't understand. Little tangent there. Okay. Third reason why Sheryl Anjanette is so badass. I love this one. That's why I saved the best for last, is because of how she fills her brain. Sheryl said that she used to be terrified of judgment from other people, and that would like ruminate in her brain. She would constantly be thinking like, oh, they're judging me. What are they thinking about me? This is going to be bad. Sheryl said that she changed her way of thinking. She stopped worrying about what other people were thinking of her. And she's like, you know what? I'm just going to start telling myself, I don't know what other people are thinking of me. And she just stopped focusing so much on what other people thought, because the truth is, you really don't know. I don't know about you, but there have been several experiences in my life where I've thought one thing was true, even for like good friends, family. I've thought that they thought one thing, or like, yeah, they're thinking this and they're treating me this way, but actually it was this way, right? Excuse me. um, so I would be like, what is going on here? And so then you wonder, you're like reading into every reaction. Maybe they have their arms crossed and you're like, oh, are they mad at me? Is that them showing they're angry at me? When in reality, they just have their arms crossed. Or maybe they had a bad day or something else is going on in their life. It doesn't have to be huge or extreme, but it's so easy to read into those things. Now, Sheryl, one thing that I really love that she said is, if you can fill your mind with the good things or with the bad things, then you can fill them with the good things. Or you can fill them with the bad thoughts. You can also fill them with the good thoughts. So when it comes to what other people are thinking of you, just assume it's the best. Just assume they're like, you're a rock star. You're a total badass. I love being around you because you just lift up my energy. You are cool. Like, you are real. But just assume that they're thinking good. Our brain loves to think of the negative. It loves to like bring us down and get in that monkey mind and like thinking about all the bad, horrible stuff, and make us feel ashamed or embarrassed of ourselves. And it can really go down a rabbit hole and turn into something completely different than when it started, or what the other person's intention is. Because again, you don't know what somebody else's intention is. So maybe you can just ask. That's one thing. Hey, when you said this, what did you mean? Just ask. How does that harm? Or take a page from Sheryl Anjanette's book, and she does have a book, and I don't know that this is in it, but just like from what she said, take a page from her or take it from her, and okay, I'm just going to assume that they're saying the best about me. And you just leave it at that. You just assume, okay, they're thinking the best things about me. They're saying the best things. If you're not willing to ask, that's my opinion though. Sheryl didn't say this, but if you're not willing to ask or clarify, then okay, just assume the best. Just assume that they had good intentions and were thinking amazing things about you. Because we do have the choice if we're going to think positively or negatively. And I'm not talking about, and I don't think Sheryl was like your gut instinct, your gut intuition. Yes, listen to that by all means. But when you constantly are thinking that people are thinking bad things about you, or how horrible you are, or focusing on all your mistakes, when you're constantly thinking that, try to flip it. Because as Sheryl said, you can just as easily think something positive as you can something negative. But you know what? It's got to be a choice. Usually a purposeful choice, like something that you're intentional about choosing. Because if you're not intentional or you're not focused on the positivity or looking like, okay, I'm just going to assume they're thinking positive things about me. If you're not focused on it, it's so easy to go down that negative trail or negative rabbit hole and just get drugged down by the negative thoughts. Our brain is a drama machine. She is all drama, right? And so you can go with that drama. If that's what you want, if that's your jam, go with it. But if it's not, if you're tired of the drama, then just assume they're thinking good things about you. Until they tell you differently or flat say it to your face, make the assumption that they're thinking good things about you. Okay, quick recap. 3 reasons why Sheryl Anjanette is so badass is because how she changed how she was treated, for being pro-gender, and for how she fills her brain. So if you love this episode, absolutely let Sheryl and I know. Post it on the I said on the Instagram. Post it on the gram, I think was what I was thinking, but post it on Instagram, get on the line and tag me at Ordinary to Badass with a screenshot of this episode. And I'll, of course, tag Sheryl. But listen, these badasses, it's important that they hear from you and they hear the impact that they had on your life. So make sure to share that. Sharing is absolutely important, especially when people are being vulnerable, telling their stories, which isn't always easy. And it makes a huge impact just when one person says, thank you, this is amazing. It makes a big impact. All right. Don't forget ordinarytobadass.com/freedom if you wanted to sign up for the Financial Freedom Summit, which is going to be fire, and want to make sure to register now so that you get all the notifications, because there are 9 amazing speakers. Okay, with that, we'll end the show. To all the badass women out there staying in the arena, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, own it and get after it.
Now that you've listened to this episode of Ordinary to Badass, we want to hear from you. Go to our website, ordinarytobadass.com/podcast, and submit your own experience on how you took your life from ordinary to badass, and get the chance to be on a future spotlight episode of the show. That's ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. While you're waiting for the next episode of the show, wipe off the sweat, dust off the dirt, and get back in the arena.